It must be great to be Donald Trump. No sense of nuance, no idea about context, just a second-grade understanding of everything. Deficit, bad. Tariffs, good. Missiles, bad. Ceasefire, good. It's great if you're a 5-year-old, but if you're the US president, you expect more maturity and understanding. Look at what he did on Friday. Trump announced that he was moving 2 nuclear submarines. To where? So-called appropriate regions near Russia. And listen to why he did it.
Well, we had to do that. We just have to be careful. And a threat was made, and we didn't think it was appropriate, so I have to be very careful. So I do that on the basis of safety for our people. A threat was made by a former president of Russia, and we're going to protect our people.
It was such a random announcement. No details on which submarines, no hint on where they were deployed, just some casual nuclear rhetoric on social media, that too over comments on the internet. Trump claims he was triggered by Russia's former president. His name is Dmitry Medvedev. Last week, he had a message for Trump. The US president had asked Moscow to end the war by August 8th, but Medvedev hit back. He said ultimatums were a step towards war. Apparently, Trump did not like that. He felt the language was threatening. Therefore, he deployed nuclear submarines near Russia. Now, just to be clear, do not fall for this Truth Social post. Chances are the US always had nuclear submarines in appropriate regions. It's standard deterrence procedure. So the announcement was not a military one, it was a political one. Trump is trying to send a message to Moscow. He's trying to build pressure on Vladimir Putin. Like I said, he set a deadline. Trump wants a ceasefire deal by Friday, this Friday, August 8th. If not, he is threatening major sanctions and tariffs. Not just on Russia, but also on countries that trade with Russia. Although Trump himself is not confident it will work, he admitted that Russia is good at avoiding sanctions.
What happens on Friday if the deadline comes and Russia has not agreed to a ceasefire?
Well, there'll be sanctions, but they seem to be pretty good at avoiding sanctions. You know, they're wily characters, and they're pretty good at avoiding sanctions. So we'll see what happens.
So what's the plan then? Trump is sending his top negotiator to Moscow, his special envoy Steve Witkoff. Witkoff is expected to visit on Wednesday or Thursday. The Kremlin suggested that he will meet Putin. Expect him to bring a singular focus on these talks. Actually, scratch that. Witkoff is also talking to Hamas, Israel and Iran. It's surprising he can keep track of which war he's ending. As for Russia, they are not panicking. They cautioned against Trump's nuclear rhetoric, but they remain open for talks.
Naturally, we think that everyone should be very careful with a nuclear rhetoric. We do preserve our commitment to the idea that the preferable way to settle the Ukrainian problem should be reached by political and diplomatic means.
And what's happening on the battlefield? Ukraine launched a daring attack over the weekend. They fired dozens of drones into Russia. Some of them struck an oil depot in Sochi. The building erupted into a fireball. Take a look. This attack was a response to last week. On Thursday, Russia launched a wave of missiles at Ukraine. They mainly struck 2 cities, Kiev and Mykolaiv. At least 31 people were killed in Kiev. It was the deadliest Russian attack in 1 year. That's the aerial battle. On the ground, Russia continues to advance. They have captured a key city in the east, Chasiv Yar. Both sides fought 18 months to control this city, but last week Russia prevailed. In fact, they're making progress across the front line. It makes you wonder, where is this heading? Is Trump making it worse? He certainly underestimated the challenge. He plunged into this peace campaign with no plan. First, he organized talks with Russia. Then he cut off aid to Ukraine. Then he restarted aid to Ukraine. Then he gave Russia 50 days to end the war. Later, he cut that to 10 to 12 days. And finally, he set the Friday deadline. Like I said, Donald Trump appears to have no understanding of this conflict. Did he think asking nicely would help? Does he think 2 nuclear submarines will scare Putin? No, they won't. But such reckless moves do reveal a problem. The problem of having a maverick at the wheel. Just think about it. Has any European country deployed nuclear submarines against Russia? Have they threatened Moscow with nukes? No, they haven't. Because despite their support for Ukraine, they have some red lines. With Donald Trump, who knows? Maybe he'll get bored and abandon Ukraine. Maybe he'll get angry and bomb Russia. This ambiguity is a risk for the entire world.